Asmongold. Did you see what he said about the toxicity of the online left? Because I think that, look, we know that there are different segments of society, right? There's the normal person here that just kind of like, just leave me alone. And then you got your crazy right wing over here, and you got your insane left wing over here. And like, I would like to think that we cater to like 80 to 85% of society, just normal people, right? Who just want to live their life, right? But then there's like the people who are the psychos, and then there's people who are like the perpetually online psychos. And I think that's who Asmongold is speaking of right here when he talks about the toxicity coming from the online left. Let me just kind of play this clip, and I would love to get your reactions to this.
It's fine. Sorry, the left is so toxic. No, it doesn't bother me. Like, there's plenty of people that use that kind of stuff against me. Like, I really, I don't. This is going to sound really bad. I don't even really view them as people. I don't. I view them as like animals. And so whenever an animal gets angry at me, like a dog barks at me, do I really think to myself, am I doing something wrong? Am I a bad person when a dog is barking at me or a raccoon hisses at me? No. I just think to myself, it's a stupid fucking dog. It's a raccoon. What do you expect?
Phoenix, I see you shaking your head.
Absolutely correct, Asmongold. Absolutely correct.
Golly. Let's go and finish this.
And so I don't even really think about them as people. And that's really the reason that's why it doesn't bother me. I'm sorry to say. A painter used to think the same. Really. Listen, the only difference between me and most people is that I say it. That's what I think.
Rev, what say you about Asmongold over here describing people as animals?
Well, I think anyone who listens to Asmongold a lot, you understand how he uses a lot of hyperbolic language. But at a core, I understand what he's saying, that these people, I talk a lot about right now, it's like not even left versus right. I try to think of things as good versus evil at this point. There are people who are just truly evil people out there. I mean, you can see how people reacted to Charlie Kirk being assassinated. And I get at a level what he's saying. He delivers things in a very brutal way, but I get what he's saying, that these people, they're just different. They will not ever come to a real conversation. They're intellectually dishonest. They will treat you and label you the worst things in the world, hoping it results in you being harmed. They know exactly what they're doing. And I get at a point where someone like Asmongold, who I consider a centrist, or someone maybe even a little bit to the left, gets called a neo-Nazi and alt-right, and he's being called Hitler in this clip. Like it's everything is so skewed right now. I understand his frustration. I understand the hyperbolic language he's using in this clip.
Well, like nothing that's being said, just remember, is accidental, right? So the reason why they keep saying the right for everything, the right, it's negative reinforcement. So every single time I show you something bad, I say the right. It makes you very scared to have a different opinion other than what theirs is. So do you vilify, really all it is just a political ideology. It's just like, this is how we want to handle taxes. That's really all it is. But they've turned it into, they've associated it with a certain fascist regime, it's from Germany. They've done a lot of that. As far as these animals being animals, that's true, they are. But for me, it's not necessarily saying the political ideology that they're animals. It's the extreme version of the left. They don't ever think, they react just the way an animal reacts. You put a piece of meat in front of it, it just goes for it. How many times have you seen them say something while blatantly contradicting the very thing that they're saying? There's no thought process. I'd say it's not animals. I'd say more zombies. It's just a zombie horde that follows whatever agenda it is. And you've seen it time and time again where they'll just pivot. Now we believe this thing. And now we're just going to go that way. So I'd say it's more like zombies, and it's not the left. It's the extreme portion of that group.
Right. I think more than anything, what he's trying to say, or what he said with a lot of hard edges, is is the idea that he's just going to totally disregard, like it's inconsequential when they are critical of him in any way, shape, or form, just like, you know, and I think that's honestly totally fair, because we know that a lot of these people are Looney Tunes and they are caricatures of what they think they are at the end of the day. I mean, we have guys running around in T-Rex outfits outside of ice facilities. Like, that tells you everything you need to know.
Well, I mean, to be honest, I'm actually happy. I prefer that than shooting at us. So I actually, let's encourage them wearing dinosaur costumes. I like that.
Yes.
But I heard Craig say the word caricature, and I think that's something that people do. They create caricatures of you. If you're different than them in any sort of a way with your opinion, they create this caricature of what you are, and you represent everything they dislike, and you are the most extreme version of that as well. And I remember, I'll share this for like 30 seconds. I was being called a Nazi and alt-right back when I was talking about, the only thing I talked about back like 5 years ago was anime and art. I would talk about artists getting canceled on Twitter, and I would say, you know, hey, you might not have to like the content they're making, but let people express themselves, have freedom of expression. And I was called a Nazi back then for that. Because we all know the core component of the Nazi regime was freedom of speech. You know, they were big free speech advocates. They loved it in the Nazi party. The funny mustache man, he loved freedom of speech. So after a while, you realize these people will create the worst version of you in their head, and you shouldn't waste your time trying to convince them or even have a dialogue with them anymore. It's not worth it. You'll lose your sanity.
Don't throw your pearls before swine.
That's right.
Just remember, this is a group that calls black people white supremacists. Like, if you don't need, like, there it is, folks. Zombies. That's just follow order. That's it. They don't think about anything.
Right.
Well, we have different pockets of society here. And on the other side of society from Asmongold is his name is Cenk Uygur? Is that his name?
Yeah, Cenk Uygur. Yeah.
Cenk Uygur. Well, he has this show, The Young Turks, and he was talking about Asmongold and his thoughts on him. Now, there's a lot of political stuff in this, but this is a political show. But I just thought it was funny the way that he spoke about Asmongold.
Hey, if you're a Democrat and you're criticizing the right wing, now think about it if the shoe was on the other foot. Now this brother comes along. I don't know who Ass Man is. I mean, people say maybe.
I'm sorry, that's so
We call
funny.
him
Ass man?
Yeah, I was gonna say
Yes,
that's what it sounded
He
like.
thought he was cooking with that one.
Yeah, it's so good.
Ask
got a
Asman
following.
if he's an ass man.
I bet Asmongold's going to make so much money. By the way, can we please do something about your tabs up here at the top? Whoever screen recorded this, holy moly.
Get some management.
Just a little tab
That hurts
management.
me.
Sorry. Yeah, I'm with you on that. All right, continue.
But I've never heard of him, right? And his co-conspirator Jägermeister or whatever, right? But this guy's talking about, oh yeah, run over protesters. I don't mind it, he said. So you don't mind extreme violence, running over somebody with a car, okay? But you know what? Why
That's
don't
probably
we
taken out of
instead
context,
arrest
by the
them for
Right.
I can almost guarantee that what he was saying is that if you're being I'm imagining swarmed by a million people and they're trying to break into your car, that I don't think he was probably saying just run over people. I don't think he was probably.
I don't know the context, so
Yeah.
I don't even want to guess. But look, we just talked about how hyperbolic Asmongold speaks, right? And I think that's exactly what happened in this situation. But whatever, I don't want to glaze for Asmongold. But let's just hear what he has to say.
exercising one of the most fundamental American rights, freedom of speech. The one, remember, that you guys all pretended you were in favor of? I know some of them meant it, but apparently a lot of them, including Assman and Jägermeister, didn't mean it. They thought, oh, freedom of speech for me.
Who is? I have no idea who Jägermeister is. Any idea, chat? No idea. All right.
Me to say that maybe you should be murdered or be made my slave. My freedom of speech, good. And by the way, I wouldn't cancel that. I don't mind him saying the terrible things that he says. Now we know who he is. So, and I'm not afraid of his speech. I'm not afraid that the majority of Americans are going to look at that and go, oh yeah, well, I think we should, instead of having freedom of speech, if anyone exercises freedom of speech in a way that I don't like politically, we should arrest them, take away all their rights, make sure they can't vote, and then turn them into slaves. No, 98% of Americans are going to be against that. But Assman thinks that's a great idea. So he's like, oh yeah.
Wait, have you guys ever heard?
Man thinks it's a great idea.
By the way, great freeze frame for a thumbnail right
Yeah,
there.
she stepped out for a second. Oh, I thought you were talking about straw.
No, I'm just talking
We
about
got
that
double
right there.
freeze frames.
That's okay.
That's
No.
horrible. Ugh.
Didn't this guy apparently try to run for president too? Is that true?
Yes. Yeah. This guy's the grifter of all grifters. So yes, he did.
Okay. All right. And he's the uncle of Hassan Piker, huh?
That is correct.
Okay. All right. It's all kind of making sense.
I'm for freedom of speech unless it's left-wingers. How dare they protest our government? Let's take away all their rights. Did you see what he said? That make sure they can't ever vote again. And I don't know if his followers were like, what an idiot. We said freedom of speech, dumbass, okay? Or if they're like, yeah, we hate freedom of speech now that we're in charge. Let's turn them into slaves.
This is this guy's show?
Is this a parody?
This is what he does. He Jerry Springer's like, he goes into Jerry Springer mode. It's all bullshit.
Wow. Do they make a lot of money?
Oh my God, do they? They're huge. The Young Turks,
Really?
huge.
I mean, I saw they have a TV station. Like I have YouTube TV and they have TYT. I see the channel. Is it just like 24 hours of this guy doing this?
Yes, and they used to be back in the day also like edgelords, like the way they would treat women and stuff like that. Like they were doing very similar things the way that like Kimmel, when he came out in blackface, and then they just turned it over, and now they're this image, right? So huge grifters.
Tips.
Yeah, I've seen the
Search
bro
up tips.
Yeah, I've seen the bro tips thing before with Piker. That's pretty spectacular.
That's who they are, really, for years.
Of course. But they found a way to make some money, huh? So, all right.
Well, a lot of money, yeah.
Jeez Louise. Well, anyways, let's go and finish up the last 15 seconds here.
13 people watching that show. Who would like that kind of monstrously un-American piece of...
Look, hey, that's pretty dang
rich.
good. That's pretty good for us, by the way. If we had 3,200 people watching us right now, but I think Asmongold streams to considerably more. By the way, we're on hold on. They have 6 million subscribers and only 3,000 people watching them. Oof.
Many
Just
such
saying.
cases.
Wow, that's crazy. We're well on their heels right now. We got between Rumble and YouTube, we actually have more than that. That's awesome. Hell yeah, let's go. Let's give it up, guys. And we have considerably less subscribers. So all right, we're beating the Young Turks apparently, but we're just not making as much money as they are apparently.
Doing it for the love of the game.
Yeah, the love of the game. That's right.
crap.
By the way, Fundathon coming up in just 2 weeks. No, just kidding. Here we go.
Like that, who doesn't believe in America at all.
I mean, I don't consume content like this. I can't imagine that Asmongold, whatever his name is, I can't imagine that he is watching this show right now either.
I don't think
I was gonna say, do they take any notes? Do they look at anything before they go on here and start talking to make themselves like
they don't need to?
Is this on purpose, or are they doing it like, you know what I mean? Like, you're making yourself look stupid. Like, is it supposed to be a joke? I don't get it.
Well, I'll tell you this. They're not like you guys. You guys came on and you were prepared. You guys saw the run sheet and everything. I know because the way you've reacted to some of these stories, which is great. So you guys are true pros. So let's go. Unlike,
we did look through it.
Yeah, unlike the Young Turks over here. All right, one last Asmongold hit here. This has been on our run sheet for a couple days here. As you guys know, we have our Real Game Awards, which is coming up in February, which people lost their S about it last year just because we provided an alternative. Apparently, Asmongold is also interested in doing some sort of award show.
As I think Jeff Keighley is the GOAT. I think he is the GOAT, and I cannot even begin to compete against that guy. He invests so much time, resources, energy, and everything. He is so good at what he does, and I can't beat that, right? That's not my expertise, and I don't even really want it to be. But what I will do is I could do the Shame Awards. And I have to say that why is it that I didn't do it last year?
I'll tell you why, because the Real Game Awards existed and we did it all. We already did that. We were shaming people and we got people so mad about it. All right, let's continue. But let's just, as he's saying this, I would like to send the invite out to Asmongold and say, you have an invite to be a part of the Real Game Awards and we will make the Shame Awards happen. Okay, I'm just throwing it out there. We will make this happen. We do not think that Jeff Keighley is the best. I think he's extremely vanilla. I think that he has had a very charmed upbringing, which has led him to a wonderful opportunity to do some things. Now, look, his shows are great, right? But he had a little bit of help on his way there. But let's go to continue.
Number one, I was busy dealing with my dad's health stuff. This has been an ongoing issue now. It's been an aggravating issue on and off for the last 2 years. But also, it was because I was involved in companies that did publishing for video games. And it looked bad for me to be inside and an owner of a company that was a publisher of a video game while I was simultaneously doing shows about how bad video games were, right? And it was like a bad professional look for the company. Now that I'm not really involved with that at all, my hands are untied. I can do whatever the fuck I want. And in fact, I actually had an individual reach out to me yesterday after that tweet offering to help me finance, organize, and create an award show like that.
That was me.
Hi.
Just kidding. It was not.
I'm like, babe.
Just kidding. It
I'm
was
a
not
little
me,
gullible, I guess. Sorry.
No, that was not me. Just kidding. But the offer is there. I think that'd be really fun to do. Just an entire show about the worst, or at least have. That's the one thing that we saw last year was people who were so upset that we highlighted the worst. And that's the thing about our award show is that we actually don't even pick the categories in it. Like the voting members do everything on the show. Our job is just to consolidate everything, put it together, and put a nice, pretty package on it, which we're going to do this year when we do the live event coming up in February. So quick reminder, if you guys are voting members at therealgameawards.com, you guys can actually help nominate categories for this year's award show. So you guys can do that over there right now. So maybe we can get Asmongold involved in some way, shape, or form. That'd be pretty fun to see. So join the normal men. Hit that subscribe button right here and watch another video right here.